if I point to you, once you introduce yourself, you point to someone else. So I'm going to point to Abdul Hakim.
Okay, thank you, Njambi. So my name is Dr. Abdul Hakim Maina. I am the acting dean at the School of Business and Economics in LuKenya University, and also the pool manager of the LuKenya Credit Guarantee Program. It's a project that we are running here at the university, and it's a part of what we are going to be talking about today. Thank you so much for having us.
Point to someone else. Okay, I'm going to help you. Sohail?
Hi, everyone. Mohammed Sohail, working in process economics, the tech side of things, and I'm excited to hear what Lusobe must present about what they've been working on for some time now. I'm going to point to Derek.
Go ahead, Derek. Derek is still muted. Okay, I'm going to ask Will to go first and give Derek time.
Hey guys, I'm Will Ruddick, the founder of Grassroots Economics, based here in Kilifi. Happy to be here. I'll point to Sarah Johnstone.
Hi there, I'm Sarah. I'm working with Relay Funder, which is a partner project to Grassroots Economics, and I'm just here to learn more about what's happening on your end, and I'm calling in from outside of Buenos Aires. Nice to be here. And I will put to Amina.
Amina is muted. Oh. Can't hear you, Amina. Let me point to SOS1. Are you there, SOS1? Okay, Odhiambo? I think that's... Okay, fine. Since we don't have enough time, I will have them introduce themselves after the meeting, after this call.
I think you called my name, Odhiambo.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Kindly.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Odhiambo. I'm from LuKenya University. I'm the COD-ICT in the School of Business and Economics. My specialty is in IT, especially artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Willie Miner, do you want to go?
Hey everyone, my name is Willie. I'm joining in from Nairobi. Interested to know more about the project as well. Thank
you. Who hasn't introduced themselves?
Before you continue, Njambi, maybe just I wanted to mention something very quick about Willie. He hasn't said it, but he's the one who helped us very much in the in coming up with the documentary. He's the one who did everything about the documentary that we have. So we're very glad to have him here as well.
Oh, that's nice. Lastborn, are you here? You're muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, hi everyone. I am Adori Boniface from LuKenya University, a student aiming to gain knowledge, know about this program and learn more things a lot. Thank you.
So we're just gonna go ahead and start.
May I
So
ask you, before you go ahead to, I'll point to Hagai because he's quite influential in our program.
Hi everyone, my name is Hagai Mruka. I'm a student at LuKenya University and I'm the student coordinator in terms of the Lusobe program that we are running in our institution. I'm so glad to be here and hoping to tap more about this program and the future of this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hagai. I don't know if we've left anyone out. I hope not. Maybe just Amina. Hi, Amina. I think I will just let her introduce herself after this.
Yeah, I think Derek, Derek from Pretium can go.
Oh, Derek, yes. Go ahead, Derek.
Hi everyone, Derek here from Pretium. Happy to join you guys. I'm logged in from Nairobi.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you for joining us. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Today we're going to give an opportunity to Dr. Abdulhakim to tell us all about Lusobe. And before he does, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of what grassroots economics does. We have been helping revive indigenous practices around mutual aid. And we believe that before even colonization, and this is not just in Kenya, like even everywhere in the world, like community members or people used to commit and get others to come and help. So they commit their offerings and get people to come help. And that is how they would do it. You know, that's how they would build houses, they would build roads, they would build their farms. That's how they ate, you know. And so the whole idea is that everyone has something to offer. And so they would put in as that offering as a collateral and borrow from everyone. And so grassroots is just a tech organization, you know, helping to add technology to an already existing practice that had answers to most of the problems we have today. And so I'm so glad to see a university take up this project and run with it. And we're going to hear more about it from Dr. Abdulhakim. And so I'm just gonna give him this opportunity to take it up and start. Karibu, Daktari.
Njambi, for that brief introduction, and also for organizing this session where we can be able to engage, especially with partners, people who have made this project what it is at the moment. So Lusobe stands for LuKenya University School of Business and Economics, and it is a kind of credit guarantee project that we are running. And its origins are actually from the learnings that we got from grassroots economics. I first engaged with grassroots economics and Will way back in 2018 when I was doing a project at Bangla Pesa. And although previously, before that, in 2014, when I'd started a degree program in Islamic banking and finance, one of the very first unit that we studied was money and banking. And we got to understand that the way that the current monetary system is structured is probably not the best. It doesn't, I mean, it helps to augment and to make the normal, to increase poverty, for example. It helps to, I mean, it doesn't help to enable transactions, because when someone doesn't have money, then nothing can be able to come out of it. And so I was very interested in that. It really made me think hard about what I'd taken for granted. And so when I got to do my project, that was for my undergraduate. It was a second degree path I was taking, obviously. And so when I got to do my main project, I decided I'd been following grassroots economics, for a while, and I decided to get in touch with them, and I attended a training session, very much subsidized for me. Thank you so much, Will, and the group at Grassroots. And I got to understand more, and I did my study in that. And I did the same thing also when I was doing my master's, trying to figure out how one can be able to use community currencies to make things work. And so when I completed my PhD, I had this idea because we have a challenge, especially now with the economy being as it is. We find that the way we grew up and the way things are at the moment are quite different. While we were growing up, it was quite easy to get access to credit from the shopkeepers because there was a lot of trust. The economy wasn't in shambles as it is right now, and so it was quite easy for people to make ends meet, even if they had run out of their money, their salaries during their income during the month. But that's not the case anymore, especially after post-COVID. After COVID, most merchants don't accept this kind of situation. And so I got to thinking and saying, how can we be able to increase the trust between shoppers and merchants? And how can we be able to ensure that people understand that there are more than one way of paying for in case someone is unable to raise the funds to make those payments. And so I started a project in Kilifi, a project that was very much assisted by Grassroots Economics Foundation. And we were thinking about trying and to take the same model to the Dadaab refugee camp. But fortunately, I was employed, I was engaged here at the university, LuKenya University, and I found the university to be a very, very open and engaging environment for innovation. They were quite, when I pitched the idea, I said, okay, so there is this project I've been working on, and I've been thinking instead of going to Dadaab and trying things there, why don't we set this place as a research hub, a place where we can be able to develop this model, make it a scalable and replicatable model that can be used by different places, different communities. And they were very open to it. And I think very many people are normally surprised with this kind of thing. It's not easy for an institution to accept these kinds of situations. But by and large, we started as a credit guarantee program for merchants. So we enabled students, we gave students the vouchers. They made commitments basically. So it's a pool of commitments where the students would commit that they would make the payments in cash or kind whenever they were called upon to do it. And the merchants committed to accepting these vouchers in return for goods and services. And we as Lusobe, the project, committed to making the payments on behalf of the students in case the merchants came to us asking for that. So we started from this point, and I would like to mention that the general idea at the end of the day is what we've started from the very beginning, and understanding that we don't really need to have currency to settle our accounts. But at the very initial stages, and this is something that Will has written about previously, we need to build the confidence of the people in these vouchers. And so it was important that there was a way, although all you're asking the merchants to do, or all you're asking people to do is to make commitments, but there had to be a pool of funds that in case the liquidity was needed, and it is needed because merchants need to buy things from outside the university, and those people will not accept the vouchers. So when this was needed, then they would be able to come back and access the funds that they needed to do that. We launched in February of this year. Some of the merchants were, they were not very confident. And so with those, all we did is we gave them, it was like a prepayment. We said, okay, so we'll give you so much money and then accept the vouchers until this amount. And that's what they did. They accepted. But after they saw how it was working, then they continued. And we've been moving on that way from that time. Then luckily for us, I think when it got around time for the examinations, we found that there is a problem that we have. Just a second, please. Let me try and my are not working. So let me just try and get the environment to be a bit silent before I continue, if you don't mind.
While he's working there, I was just going to
Okay,
show
sorry.
the.
So let me get back. I hope.
You're good.
Oh, sorry. Were you saying something?
No, I was going to show the Lusobe diagram, but I'll put it up when
Okay,
you
sure.
want it. Yeah.
So we have a fees policy here at the university where students have to pay 30% of the fees when they're registering for a semester, units for the semester. And then they have to pay up to 50% when it's time for Cat 1, then they have to pay up to 80% for Cat 2 and then 100% for the final fees. And so that's we found that some students were having challenges clearing the fees. And so we said, okay, we'll provide the credit guarantee, but now with the university. So the university is the merchant, and then the students are the users as it is. And that was also quite successful. And we were able to start the project, and the repayments were encouraging. The parents were encouraging. But obviously for us, the main goal was that we wanted to create this kind of behavioral change. And that is what we've been working with. So in May of this year, we got a grant from Presenti, which has been very, very influential, helpful, impactful in the university. It has helped us to scale up the work that we are doing. And we were able to engage various partners. Initially, in fact, for us to be able to get hold of the funding, we were able to engage, Sargo, one of our partners, which we were able to, we were introduced to them by Grassroots. Thank you very much for that once again. And so they helped us to access this grant from Pretium. And we used the grant to scale up our impact. We got on board some of the partners. For example, Derek has been very, very influential from Pretium. He has helped us to increase, to make it easy for us to use the system, especially when it comes to off-ramping, because sometimes there is a need, although we prefer, and it is actually costless, if we can say that, to use the Lusobe voucher, which is a Sarafu voucher in any event, a commitment pool voucher. It is cost-free to use it. But there are times when, as I mentioned, people need to convert this into money so that they can have the liquidity that they would need. And but that is both students and merchants, everyone, in fact, in the ecosystem, including the university, who require their payments, their fees in cash. And so previously it was much more difficult to do. But once Pretium came on board, and while they worked very hard and diligently together with the technical team at Sarafu, led by Muhammad, thank you so much for that. They have made it easier for us to move ahead. So I don't know, let me just stop at that point. Maybe a quick mention once again, during the semester, we also able to come up with a documentary that explains in detail the kind of work, the environment itself, as well as the kind of work and impact. You can get to hear various people talking about that. And Willie Miner was very instrumental in that. He created quite a professional documentary, and at a very, very, very subsidized, almost free rate. And so I would also like to give a shout out and to thank him for that. So this is a project that has very many different people who have helped it to be what it is. And so as we continue talking and having the discussion about it, let's think about it. Let's talk about the partnership. Hagai, for example, very instrumental in ensuring that he was able to mobilize the students to come and to accept the voucher and to start using it. So he's an evangelist for the project here. The students, I think, Lastborn. It's written Lastborn here, but his name is Boniface. Boniface was one of the first students that we started with when we were having our pilot, and he continues to be a member of the Lusobe team here. So thank you very much, everyone. The people who have also joined us for learning, I sent a link to Juan. Juan was also introduced to us by Grassroots Economics, and I'm glad to see that Tara is here also, and maybe we can be able to share what we have learned, and she can be able to take it and use it somewhere else, because we are developing a model that is intended to be scalable, replicatable. That's the first thing, replicatable and scalable to the extent that it can be scaled. It's not a program that should be scaled too much, using the same kind of voucher, but ideally by having an ecosystem of different vouchers that can be converted for each. I mean, you can convert one into the other using the Sarafu network. Then I'm sure that we can be able to improve the lives of the people to a very large extent. So thank you very much for the time to say something small about our project. Appreciate it. Jambi, back to you, I think.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for that talk. I wanted to ask if there's anyone with a question to Abdul Hakim. Any question? If there's none, I'm going to ask Will to show us the pool, the Lusobe pool. Maybe share your screen
Okay. Yeah,
and show
I
us
can
how
do
it
that.
looks like.
Yeah. And maybe just a big background is that I've known Abdul Hakim, I don't know how many years now. Abdul, maybe, has it been 8 years or something like this? Maybe more.
Yeah, from around 2018. That's when I was doing my. No, actually before that, 2017. Yes, 2017. Yeah.
And I think, he would come and see what we were working on. And I remember you always talking about like, wanting to get like solid merchant backers and, products and services backing what we were calling things like community currency. And I think that was one of our pushes for having something more like a voucher. And the Lusobe voucher, as I understand it, is really just it's a commitment for being able to pay your tuition. Is that right?
Yes, being able to pay for goods and services generally that one can receive from within the university,
Okay.
including
Okay.
tuition. Yes.
I downloaded the data from the blockchain this morning to look at that voucher, and I thought maybe this would be a good discussion starter here. So I don't know if you guys can see this diagram here. There we go. These are the accounts of everyone holding Lusobe. So you would imagine like, students who just get some tuition tokens would just end up using them at the university immediately. But it looks like a lot of people have Lusobe, even merchants. So like maybe just to talk about this diagram, like help us understand what's going on there.
Yeah, so thank you so much. So what happens is it's actually very strange. What we discovered, because initially when Haggai, for example, was going around and trying to tell students about the voucher, what we found is that it took a life of its own. And so you would find that some of the students would recruit, if I may use that word, other students. They would onboard other students, and then they would send the other students vouchers, and some of them are maybe people who are selling things within the university. Someone may be selling some smokies and chapati, the guys who are selling tea and mandazis. And so I suppose some of the students were encouraging those students to come on board, because now they had these vouchers and they needed to spend the vouchers at these places. And so you will find that quite a lot of the transactions that are happening amongst the various users of the vouchers. They are not all leading to the main vouchers, although when you look at these big circles,
Yeah.
I think the big circles should be both the main voucher, that is Lusobe voucher in itself,
Yeah.
and probably the pool somewhere, or because sometimes I
Yeah.
have to do the payments myself, then you would find me being one of those big vouchers. But by and large, there's quite some bit of transactions that are taking place between the users, amongst the users themselves, which is very
Interesting. Yeah.
encouraging, because it shows that people are accepting the voucher.
Okay. And you said shops, so like a student gets a student loan in Lusobe and they could use it to buy something at a shop or with a fellow student. What would the shop do with that Lusobe?
So what the shops normally do is that they would keep the Lusobe. So there are different ways that they would approach them. In the initial phases, they wouldn't keep them for long. They would come back to the pool and try and get the vouchers from the pool. The reason being that
Okay.
they weren't very confident about the voucher, and so they didn't want to keep it for too long without knowing just how trustworthy this voucher is. But as time went by, you would find that others would keep it and say, okay, we want to hold it as a means of ensuring that come the end of the month, we have some bit of money to pay our employees. Because the idea, and we've never really talked to people and told them how they can use mutual aid how they can do mutual aid and use complementary currencies and all those different kinds
Yeah.
of things. The idea is that these people should naturally get to a point where they feel that this voucher has value, and to use it to settle transactions in more or less the way that they would settle transactions using normal currency. When we come to the Moria, for example, the trust is the currency. Trust is the currency, because that is what ensures if I'm going to give you value this week, then I must trust that in the future you should be able to give me back the value. But as I said, trust right now is very low within the community. And so the idea is that the voucher should naturally gain the trust of the people in the ecosystem, the users in the ecosystem, to such a point that they accept it and they can use it for all their transactions.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm.
I could show, let me see if I can show the pool here as well. Let me try to find it online here. Lusobe. There's a LuKenya University. Pools. Okay, yeah, here it is. And so the grant that you got was primarily kind of to provide another on and off ramp for the Lusobe vouchers and other vouchers in the pool. Can you maybe talk about how the grant was helpful?
So the real reason why we had the voucher was that I mean, not the voucher, but the grant. We approached Presenti with a proposal to help us to, one, scale up the project, ensure that we can be able to have more impact. Two, make the technology much more accessible and much more useful to the users of the voucher. One of the main things that we wanted to develop were dashboards, and so that it becomes much easier for people to understand, where they are with their transactions. We had some probably very ambitious or over ambitious idea about the kind of dashboards that we were looking at the moment. I mean, at that time, but that changed. Alhamdulillah, it changed we were able to talk to Presenti and to tell them that what we were thinking of wasn't possible. But actually, with what we have already in the dashboard in terms of, for example, what we can see right now, as well as what appears in the analytics tab, is actually quite an improvement, because this has developed. The team at Grassroots has really done quite a good job to improve the dashboard since the time we were having we asked for the grant. So just to answer your question, the main focus was on reporting in terms of the dashboards, and also to improve on the impact by increasing the size of the pool.
Maybe you can just step us through, like, what are we seeing here in terms of this is a view into the pool. Yeah.
Maybe if you can increase the size a little bit, I can't quite see clearly.
Yeah. There we go. How about
Yeah,
that?
okay. Yeah, so these are different vouchers that are available in the pool. The general idea is we would like to reach a stage where every user can create his or her own voucher, and to have those vouchers within the pool. Right now, what we do is we issue them with the vouchers, with the Lusobe voucher. But ideally, everyone should be able to create their own. For example, you can see Hagai voucher. Hagai is a student, as you know. There was a time we wanted to set him up as an agent, and so we gave him the Hagai voucher here,
I see
Hag
it, yeah.
001, yes. And so what we did is we gave him 10,000 words of worth of. We allowed him to access 10,000 shillings worth of vouchers from within the pool, whether as Lusobe or Cello. The same thing with Arcan, and we also have some other vouchers at the bottom, which are for other individual students who have accessed
I see.
the.
Yeah.
Yes, these ones have accessed uh, they have accessed student financing.
Okay.
Some of
Okay.
these ones, the ones that you can see here, the subs are subordinate staff. So we've also given them some bit of funds.
So if I understand right, like what I'm seeing here is these are credit lines on the right here. So these are the credit lines you've given people.
Yes.
And this indicates how much debt they currently owe into the pool. So this is like this 1,500 here, or let's look at the Hagai. So Hagai owes 10,000 shillings into the pool and he has no more credit.
Yes, that is how it appears as it stands right now. There
Okay.
is a challenge that we have,
Yeah.
because right now it's quite easy to off-ramp. So Hagai can be able to get into the pool and can be able to get some vouchers, for example, Cello dollars from the pool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when it comes to the on-ramping at the moment, ideally, it should be able to on-ramp by putting the vouchers back to the pool. But right now, it's not so easy to that. And that's really the next stage. So it doesn't quite represent the debt. It's quite possible that Hagai might have made some payments, but the payments are not reflected on the system because they did not come directly to the system. Yeah. So this is the next phase. We need to get to a point where Hagai himself can be able to on-ramp and swap out get his vouchers back, so that the system can show that he's cleared the debt. But I think that is something that is being worked on at the moment.
Yeah.
I think there was a question. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think maybe Mohammed Sohail is working on that and could actually mention a little bit about what the situation is with that. Sohail, are you still there?
Yeah. So Mohammed, maybe I think you should answer that. But before you do, let me just quickly answer. Sarah has asked, is there a maximum amount of debt that you can have? So we normally allocate the debt according to, first of all, the type of user. So we have different types of users. We have what we call the subordinate staff. So the subordinate staff are non-teaching staff, and they're in two ways. For example, the cleaners, the support staff, we can call them the support staff. And then we have the faculty, then we have the students. Yes, so that's normally the way we have it. So our policy determines the maximum that a new user can be able to access from the pool. That becomes his starting debt level. But depending on how well he's repaying, his debt level can increase. We call it the limit. His limit can increase. So students, for example, start with 500. We give them a maximum of 500. And so as they repay, we get to see just how creditworthy they are. We get to see what, basically their character, and we increase their limit. So you might find some students having 1,000, and whereas others have 500. When it comes to the fees, also there's a difference. Our very, very maximum is about 15,000 Kenya shillings, which is slightly more than $100 US dollars. And yeah, so it depends on how much we have in the pool. So we have a credit committee which allocates that from time to time. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. And I think, for some people, they might not realize like how people are actually interfacing with this. Like the pool view we just showed is what you're kind of using as an admin, but most people are probably not using that. They're using something else.
Yes.
What is that? What's that experience like for the normal user that's not, maybe doesn't even have a smartphone?
So most users, not just the normal users, even the ones with the smartphones, you will find, although they can be able to do some of the transactions on Sarafu.network, which is a DApp, distributed app, most of them use the CUSSD. And that is because the CUSSD has several advantages over no, not the CUSSD, but USSD, sorry, USSD, which are the short, the SMS kind of service. And that's because it has quite some few advantages over the use of an app. One of them is there's no need for internet. And when you are in a place like this, Kenya generally, and especially where we are more specifically, we have challenges when it comes to how consistent the availability of electricity is. With the availability of electricity comes the availability of a Wi-Fi. We have a Wi-Fi network here, but obviously when electricity is interrupted, then we don't have internet. And so that's one challenge, internet, constant available internet. And obviously it costs something sometimes. The Wi-Fi is not everywhere. So it can also be a challenge. The second thing is, I suppose, the fact that the USSD is free, completely free for us. I'm sure that Will and grassroots are doing some heavy lifting on our behalf in the background, but for us, we experience it as something that is totally free, can be used at any time as long as the phone network is working. Yeah, so those are some of the reasons why people would use the USSD, and that is how they would use it. But as they use it, I believe all these transactions are being recorded on Sarafu.network. Yeah, so if you go, for example, if you were to show the Lusobe transactions for the voucher itself, then you can be able to see that there are quite some few transactions that are taking place there.
Yeah. So the USSD system is just an interface to the Celo blockchain.
Yes.
And so that makes it really, really easy for folks. Maybe any more questions or experiences? I'd love to hear any, like Lastborn or anybody here that has some experience getting a loan, using it for shopping. What's it like repaying that? Yeah. And do we have anybody here that's one of the students?
Maybe
Or
once
any
we
other
get
questions?
that, I would also really appreciate if maybe Derek could say one or two things about his experience working with us, and that when I say us, I mean both Lusobe and grassroots in integrating our operations and what he feels about it and the impact that it's been having.
Thank you, Dr. From overall Pretium, this kind of engagement is quite a beautiful thing. We've loved partnership with you guys. For me, because since you provided the technical infrastructure to support the last month payment or disbursement of school fees, it's been quite interesting working with you guys. I look forward where we reach to a situation where we can roll up such kind of things across all universities in Kenya. And I'm sure with the backing with the team like grassroots, by the leadership of Will, I'm sure this is something that can materialize into added within the Cero ecosystem. So for us, we really appreciate you've had a beautiful time engaging with a couple of your individual folks from your side, and we look forward for more future partnerships.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah. So there is
Thank you,
something
Will.
also about I know, Amina has been there with you, learning from you, Abdul Hakim, and her, as well as Jambi and Joyce. They've all been kind of trying to take these lessons up to places like the Dab and even around here in Kilifi and starting to do lending programs. And so these kind of traditional rotational labor type programs that we've done for a long time are starting to be kind of upgraded into following this model that you're doing. So it'd be interesting just to hear from maybe Jambi or Amina on how that has kind of been replicated so far. What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Will. When Dr. was talking, was saying that he was planning did it. So right now we have organized groups in Kalobeye, here in Kilifi, now having lending pools. So in top of exchanging the different, they can also borrow. And what they're doing is that they are using, they are putting in their vouchers as collateral. And this is after the groups have verified that this is, there's trust, we know this person, they want to borrow some money from, acknowledges that they know this person, so that person uses their voucher, and then if they want an amount that is a little bit more, then they will have someone to guarantee them, and mostly someone from the group. And so once that person guarantees them, there's now that idea of this person can can take this loan. Then they will seed the pool with their collateral, which is now the offering, and borrow now the money. And then eventually, after a specified period of time, upon agreement with the group, they will repay the money, no interest. And so that means someone else from the same pool can borrow, and the same procedure applies. And so the beauty about this is that now this debt does not just stay there, which is now their collateral. So it means that someone else can also borrow. We've seen this happen. So if A borrows, and then maybe even before the time for repayment is there, someone else will need A's services. And so B being the person who needs A services, will now put in their debt, which is now their offering, and pull out A. So, and then they go and pay that A with the money. So that means the debt moves from A now to B. So eventually, whoever pays, it ends up to be someone different. And that becomes very beautiful because it's not just stagnant. So a lot of things are growing even when there's the debt is there, And so, yeah, so that has been happening in the DAB. The DAB, we have a pool, a lending pool with around 20 groups inside. In Kilifi, we have a pool with 5 groups inside. So, and I mean groups, I say organized groups that have a constitution. These are people who know one another. These are people who've been doing this, and so this technology just brings, the blockchain brings the beauty of being able to track, visibility and also accountability. So yeah, that's what has been happening here in Kilifi. So I don't know if Amina, you have anything else to add?
I was going to share this as well.
Yeah.
It's not there.
ahead.
This is just since March this year, and this is just the use of one of the stable coins on the network. And so stable coins, for people who don't know, are basically we think of them as vouchers as well. They're commitments for national currency. And almost all of these, there's a lot moving around the network. This is quite a few transactions. And we're trying to on and off ramp those through Pretium. It's an app. And basically we've gotten to the point now where I believe like Abdul Hakim and the folks in the field can go on their little USSD phone and just send a transaction to the Pretium ENS, which I think for us is just mpesa.sarafu.eth. If they send a stablecoin there, Pretium gets it, Pretium processes it and sends back M-Pesa to that user. So that's off ramping from the system, and then on ramping into the system from M-Pesa, we're doing the same thing through Pretium, and we're just getting that online now. So that's all through. Most of these are all USSD based transactions for people who don't have internet. So a lot of what Jambi and Abdul Hakim you're talking about is the ability for people to go on and off these networks with Kenyan shillings, but then also be able to not do that as well and stay within like the Lusobe ecosystem or within the Dadaab network and choose whether or not they want to on and off ramp or not, because there's a cost to that. There's a cost through the M-Pesa fees and all this kind of stuff. And so I think there's something interesting around kind of, that the stable coins and the national currency are kind of like a flywheel into building out these networks. And then, so this is a flywheel to build out that, like the Lusobe network that was there. So I think that's, we're seeing something like we've been looking at, kind of the multiplier effect. So for every let's say 100 shillings or 130 shillings or every dollar that's in the system, we're seeing something like, depending on the group, like 10 to 20 times that number of transactions within the system before having to go back out into national currency. And in some cases, not really going back out to national currency at all. So it's interesting complementary systems. Yeah. Over.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Maybe we can get Hagai to say one or two things. And as Hagai is talking, I would really like to apologize to Amina, because I haven't really said just how much Amina has assisted us in getting Lusobe off the ground. She was here when we were having our launch in February. She was here, I think, last semester as well. She has been supporting us from the other places. I mean, when she's not been around, she's really been assisting us. And Hagai knows this firsthand, and maybe when he's making his comments, he can also just mention that as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hagai,
So
are you there? I think you can go ahead, Njambi. Doesn't appear to be here.
it's okay. We'll get back to him. I was asking, Abdul Hakim, you have a video of Lusobe project that is ready. Would you like to show it?
The video to show it from here. It's
I don't know how long is it.
it's actually quite large. It is in 3 parts.
Large, eh?
We can share. We are going to I'm going to share. I think Will has shared, if I'm not wrong, is shared the links
around the
Let
chat.
me
Yeah,
just
same.
check. Yeah, he shared the links in the chat. Yeah, so it's about 1.5 or slightly more than 1.5 hours, but it's been split into 3 parts. And so
Yes.
one can look at it. We're looking at doing some shots out of it, but that's work in progress. But right now, if anyone wants just to go and see the whole video, it's available, and the links are in the chat box, so you can get them there.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I'm really amazed and appreciative of all you've done over these years, Abdul Hakim, and it's just, like that university is now creating and honoring a commitment for tuition, that's able to flow around an entire community, be exchangeable for other commitments within that community. Like you've said it yourself, like you're building a whole economic system based on trust right there, and having that anchor of the university and yourself as a dean is huge.
Yeah, as I said, once again, this is something that is only possible because of the fact that we've had so many awesome partners who've helped us from the very beginning in all sorts of different ways. And whenever we reach a hitch, there is always someone else who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings on board. So this is something that we believe is possible because of the deep commitment that most of us have to this project. We don't earn from it. Maybe that's something we didn't say. We don't earn anything from it. In fact, we have provided some of our funds to it. Every single person here that I know will has put in some funds to the project, especially in the very early stages of the program. Jambi and Amina, you guys also go out of your way to ensure that we get this project moving. What can I say about Derek? When I asked him to help us out, he came on board, full force. I usually get very shy, sometimes calling him and asking him to help us with something small. Pritiam, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but Pritiam works in 7 countries now. Are you in the 8th country, Derek, by now?
In any countries as you speak.
Yes, he's the CEO of a very big company. But whenever I'm in trouble, I give him a call, and he's always willing to help. I give him a very short notice to come on board for this um, uh, webinar, and he's here. So it's because of the real commitment that people have. Mohammed Sohail works over time, to ensure that we get these things moving. So I really appreciate all of you. Willis, as I said, went out of his way, a very subsidized rate, and he helped us. And by the way, if any of you wants anything done, please get in touch with Willie. He's an awesome award-winning producer of films and things like that. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that we'll continue to assist. And for anyone who probably doesn't know how to get in touch with us, I'm going to provide the details, but you can learn more about the Lusobe project on sarafu.network. We have quite some bit of information there. You can also learn about it from we are going to be putting up, from grassroots.org, grassecon.org. Yeah, there's some blogs that we have there, and we have our contact details there, and any sort of assistance that you can be able to extend to us. Everything helps. As you said, we have quite some bit of a lot of different kinds of contributions from the different partners. So whatever you can be able to do, we would appreciate it, even if it's just spreading the word, getting people to know about the kind of work that we are doing and the impact that it has. That would really be very important. Amina, maybe you can say something.
Yes, okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, apologies. I was having an issue with my mic. So I'd like to thank Abdul Hakim and also Will, because I knew this about the Islamic lending through Abdul Hakim. I did not know about so much about it. So I thank Will for giving us the opportunity to take it to LuKenya. And also through my LuKenya visit early this year, I learned how we can people can get loans, the interest free, and they can also pay by using their services that they can offer. So we were able to introduce this in Dadaab last 2 months ago in August, and also in Kalobe. So this was a very big like achievement, because in Dadaab it's an Islamic side. So when you just tell them that the loan is interest free, everyone is ready to get it. So in Dada, we have so many individual vouchers people have created, and they've accessed the loans. Many are ready to repay. So mode of repayment is two. Maybe they can pay back using Kenya shillings, or someone can swap out their commitment, and then let's say for example it's me and Jambi. I can put my vouchers, I get Jambi's, and then Jambi will come and do some work for me, and I pay her using the vouchers. So this will move the debt. So I'm not the one like it's not a must, because I'm the one who took the loan to repay it. So it's a good model, and we are hoping to spread it in all our sites. We have very different sites in Kenya, and we've also started here in Kilifi. Yeah, thank you so much. Over to you, Jambi.
Thank you so much, Amina, for the help and for that talk. So, any other questions? Sahil, do you want to say something before we wind up? John?
No, just thank you from my side. Really beautiful to see this.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Abdul Hakim, for everything that you've been doing. It's really exciting to see all the exchanges happening in LuKenya over just such a short period of time. So yeah, we're happy to keep supporting.
Thank you very much, Grassroots, and for everything, including setting up this webinar so that we can be able to have a chance to share what we have learned and what we have done. We are hoping that post-project, we might have something else which we probably get more people from the from Presenti and the greater Cello ecosystem, where we can be able to probably explain much more than that. But in the meantime, we really appreciate it, and we thank everyone for their time. We know that you took some time out of your busy schedule, especially on such short notice. So thank you so much, and all the best in the future. Thank you, Sarah, by the way. I don't know if Sarah has been able to benefit from what we've been talking about today, because, yeah.
Yes, this was great. It was super informative and really impressive to hear about what you've done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jambi. I think we can close now.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.